Let's talk about a growing problem lurking in our cities: super rats. These aren't ordinary pests. They're bigger, bolder, and far more resilient than the rats we once knew. While most of us go about our daily lives, these rodents are quietly taking over the hidden corners of Sydney, adapting to every challenge we throw at them. Their presence is often invisible, but their impact is felt everywhere, from the city's bustling streets to the quietest suburban backyards. In Sydney, a new breed of rat is thriving, immune to the poisons we've relied on for years. These super rats have developed genetic mutations that allow them to survive even the most potent chemical baits. As a result, their numbers are exploding and they're becoming increasingly difficult to control. They scavenge through our rubbish, nest in our walls, and squeeze through the tiniest cracks, making themselves at home in the heart of the city. Residents are frustrated as old tricks fail and rats turn backyards into their own territory. Families are finding gnawed cables, contaminated food, and droppings in places once considered safe. The sense of helplessness is growing, as traditional traps and poisons no longer seem to work. People are left wondering if their homes will ever be rat-free again. This isn't just about the ick factor. It's a rapid shift in our urban ecosystem, a real-time evolution. These rats are not only surviving, they're thriving, outsmarting both humans and the environment. Their ability to adapt so quickly is a testament to the power of evolution in action, and it's happening right under our noses. Our battle with rats has made them stronger, and now, conventional methods can't keep up. Pest control workers are finding that the tools and techniques that once worked are now obsolete. The rats have learned to avoid traps, ignore baits, and exploit every weakness in our defenses. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, and right now, the rats are winning. The more we try to poison them, the more resistant they become, creating a cycle that threatens our health and environment. Overflowing bins and littered streets provide a constant food source, allowing rat populations to grow unchecked. This cycle not only puts our health at risk through the spread of disease and contamination, but also disrupts the delicate balance of our urban ecosystem. So, how did these rats get their superpowers? And what can we do about it? Scientists are racing to understand the genetic changes that have made these rodents so tough. By studying their DNA and behavior, experts hope to find new ways to outsmart them. But it's not just a scientific challenge, it's a community one too. It's time to rethink our approach and get smart about urban pest control. This means combining science, technology, and community action to develop new strategies that can keep up with these ever-evolving pests. Only by working together can we hope to reclaim our city from the unseen scourge of Sydney's super rats. What makes these rats super? Why are they so hard to control even with our most advanced poisons and traps? The answer lies deep within their genetic code, in a tiny but powerful change that has transformed ordinary city rats into survivors against the odds. It's all in their DNA. Scientists have been digging into the genetic makeup of these urban rodents, searching for clues that explain their remarkable resilience. What they found is both fascinating and alarming. A single genetic mutation known as TIR25Phi is at the heart of this story. This tiny change in the rat's DNA gives them resistance to our strongest rat poisons, specifically a class called SGRs, or second-generation anticoagulant rodenticides. These are the poisons that were once considered our best line of defense. Normally, these poisons work by stopping blood from clotting, causing fatal internal bleeding in rats that eat the bait. For decades, this method was highly effective, helping to keep rat populations in check in cities around the world. But the TIR25Phi mutation changes the shape of a key protein that the poison targets. Imagine a lock that's been subtly altered. Now, the poison is like a key that no longer fits. The result? The poison simply doesn't work as intended, and the rat survives. Rats carrying this mutation don't just survive, they thrive. They go on to breed, passing this genetic advantage to their offspring. Over time, more and more rats in the population inherit this resistance, making the problem even harder to tackle. Researchers, led by Alicia Gorbould, discovered that this mutation isn't just a rare fluke. It's actually widespread in Australian cities, showing up in rat populations from Sydney to Melbourne. This means the challenge is bigger than anyone expected. Our heavy and repeated use of these powerful poisons has unintentionally driven this rapid evolution. By constantly exposing rats to scars, we've created the perfect conditions for resistant individuals to survive and multiply. The more we poison, the more we select for rats that can withstand our attacks. It's a textbook example of natural selection in action, happening right under our noses in the heart of our cities. It's a classic case of evolution. What doesn't kill them makes them stronger. Each new generation is better equipped to survive, adapt, and outsmart our efforts to control them. Our main weapon has backfired, and now we face a tougher, more resilient enemy. The story of the Tier 25 Phi mutation is a stark reminder that nature always finds a way, and that our battle with these super rats is far from over. Gorbould's research mapped the spread of super rats across Australia, testing nearly 200 black rats in Perth, Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Over half carried the resistance gene. Perth was hit hardest. 80% of rats there were resistant. Sydney wasn't far behind, with nearly half of its rats immune to poisons. Melbourne's numbers were also high, while Brisbane seemed less affected for now. These hotspots reflect years of heavy poison use and failed control strategies. The data is clear. Old methods are failing, and the problem is spreading. We're not just hearing stories. Science confirms a silent epidemic. It's time to adapt before resistance becomes universal. When poisons stop working, many people just use more, but doubling down only makes things worse, accelerating resistance and endangering pets, children, and wildlife. More poison wipes out non-resistant rats, leaving only the super rats to breed. These chemicals linger in the environment, contaminating soil and water. Pets and even kids are at risk from baits left in backyards and parks. Rain washes poisons into waterways, threatening aquatic life. We're not solving the rat problem. We're creating a bigger environmental crisis. The science is clear. We can't poison our way out of this. It's time to break the cycle and find smarter solutions. The collateral damage from rat poisons is devastating for native wildlife. Every year, countless animals fall victim to these hidden killers, often suffering slow and painful deaths. The impact is not just limited to a few species. It's a widespread crisis affecting the entire ecosystem. When we use poisons to control rats, we set off a chain reaction that ripples through the food web, harming creatures that play vital roles in maintaining ecological balance. Predators like owls, kookaburras, and other native hunters are especially vulnerable. They eat poisoned rats and mice, unknowingly ingesting lethal doses of toxins. This process, known as secondary poisoning, is responsible for the deaths of many of our most iconic and beloved wildlife species. These birds and mammals are nature's pest controllers, but when they die, the natural balance is thrown into chaos. Studies show alarming levels of rodenticides in birds of prey and even possums. Researchers have found that more than 70% of tested owls and other raptors carry traces of these chemicals in their bodies. Even marsupials like possums, which may eat contaminated insects or scavenge, are at risk. Wildlife hospitals are seeing a rise in admissions for poisoning, with many animals unable to be saved. These toxins move up the food chain, killing the very animals that naturally control pests. When apex predators are removed, the populations of rats and mice can actually increase, creating a vicious cycle that leads to more poison use. The delicate balance of predator and prey is disrupted, and the entire ecosystem suffers as a result. The loss of apex predators disrupts entire ecosystems, leading to more pest problems. Without these natural hunters, rats and mice breed unchecked, invading homes, farms, and bushland. The absence of birds of prey and other carnivores can also affect plant life, as seed dispersal and pollination are interrupted. The landscape becomes eerily quiet, with empty nests and abandoned habitats where vibrant life once thrived. Other countries have banned these poisons for public use, but Australia lags behind. In places like Canada, the United States, and parts of Europe, strict regulations protect wildlife from the most dangerous rodenticides. Yet here, these products remain widely available on supermarket shelves, putting our unique fauna at constant risk. The call for reform grows louder as more evidence of harm emerges. Our chemical war on rats is dismantling the natural food web. Instead of working with nature, we're undermining it, creating a toxic environment where even the survivors struggle to thrive. The widespread use of poisons contaminates soil, water, and the bodies of countless animals, with effects that can last for years. We're not just killing rats, we're poisoning the wild heart of our nation. The loss of native wildlife is a tragedy that extends beyond numbers. It's a loss of identity, beauty, and natural heritage. Every animal lost to poison is a reminder of the urgent need for change. The continued use of escars is indefensible. especially as they become less effective. Rats are developing resistance, making these chemicals less reliable while the risks to wildlife only increase. Experts warn that relying on poisons is a short-term fix with long-term consequences for biodiversity and public health. It's time to protect our wildlife and rethink our approach. By choosing safer, more sustainable pest control methods, we can restore balance to our ecosystems and ensure a future where Australia's unique animals can thrive once again. Rat poisons don't just kill rats, they contaminate our entire environment. Rain breaks down outdoor baits, leaching toxins into soil and waterways. These chemicals persist, moving through plants, insects, and up the food chain. Aquatic life is especially vulnerable as poisons wash into creeks and rivers. Even decomposing rats spread toxins, which accumulate in predators over time. The result is a slow, invisible poisoning of our ecosystems. We're broadcasting toxins far beyond our backyards, with consequences we can't fully see. The super rat crisis exposes the true environmental cost of our pest control habits. Our actions ripple through the entire ecosystem. It's time to recognize the far-reaching impact of our choices. If poisons are out, what works? Experts recommend physical trapping. Snap traps, when used correctly, are effective and humane. Modern electrocution traps offer a quick, clean kill with no risk to wildlife or pets. Placement is key. Set traps along walls and known rat paths. Pre-bait traps to build trust and use attractive baits like peanut butter. Trapping requires more effort, but it targets only the pest and avoids environmental harm. This shift from poisons to traps is a smarter, safer way to manage rats. It's a responsible choice for our homes and our ecosystem. The best rat control is prevention. Make your property unattractive to them. Secure all food sources, tight bin lids, rodent-proof compost, and no food scraps left out. Eliminate water sources by fixing leaks and removing standing water. Remove clutter and potential nesting sites. Tidy yards, trim vegetation, and clear debris. Seal any holes or cracks in your home's exterior with steel wool or wire mesh. Check vents and install sturdy screens. These steps create a permanent defense, making your home a no-go zone for rats. Prevention is cheaper, safer, and more effective than any poison or trap. With diligence, you can stop infestations before they start. Integrated pest management starts with good housekeeping. The rise of super rats is a wake-up call. Our old methods are broken. We've bred tougher pests and poisoned our wildlife and environment. The answer isn't stronger poisons, but smarter, integrated pest management. Use traps for existing infestations and focus on prevention. This is a collective responsibility. Homeowners, councils, and professionals must work together. We need better education and stronger regulations to protect our cities and wildlife. The super rat teaches us that our actions have consequences. By changing our ways, we can